At this time, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce a remarkable leader in the world of banking and finance and a champion for community development and corporate responsibility, Jermaine Johnson. He is a distinguished figure who has become one of the most prominent business leaders here in the DC region. As the regional president of PNC Bank in Greater Washington and Virginia, Jermaine oversees the operations of the nation's fifth largest bank, PNC Financial Services Group Incorporated. And as you heard from H, he was one of the first corporations to come on board as a supporter of the 51 Steps to Freedom Trail. Please welcome Jermaine Johnson.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say thank you to our audience for being here today. It is wonderful to be on this esteemed panel with all the speakers that we have here. And H and Tracy, I want to thank you. This all began about a year ago with PNC Bank. We are not the most creative of mind when it comes to bankers. So you can only imagine that when we saw Father Healy on the screen, trying to understand exactly how something like this might come to life. But the timing was perfect. Carrie Hatch brought this to us, Lars Carr. I want to thank both of them as well for their leadership. But it really requires this vision and conviction to see what I think this project will really bring to bear. But for us, we've been in the diversity and inclusion space for over 10 years. If you remember the events of George Floyd that happened back in 2020, it was the first time that we began to elevate equality into that discussion, equality and justice. And through that, we created what we now have, which are economic opportunity grants, in an effort to bring economic empowerment, education, and entrepreneurship in a way that we have never, as an industry, and certainly not as a company, brought to the communities that we serve. So this effort here was an opportunity for us to do that. We believe, much like other efforts that we've made across our community, if you think about Howard, who currently serves as the Center of Entrepreneurship, $17 million commitment that we made to Howard over 5 years. We're also in the midst, and I can't talk about this just yet, but we're in the midst of making another commitment to Prince George's County around small businesses. Across our communities, we have seen the disruption that transportation can create. While it's a great thing to have when Metro comes into your community, at times it can be very disruptive from an economic opportunity standpoint. And so along the blue and the orange lines, we're about to make a commitment in Prince George's. And I would liken this project very similarly to the investment that we would like to make in a community that may not be seen. I don't know how many of you have been here to the Howard Theater before. I used to live in this community in Petworth, and so I've actually seen the Howard Theater myself front and center, but had never been here in person, so it's nice to be here. And what we want to bring is the 51 steps of freedom, across our community, so you can see those same locations, create economic opportunity around those places that you may not have seen before. And certainly we want to bring education in a way that's differentiated than going to a museum. I think that my 14-year-old and my 16-year-old will really like downloading the QR code when they stand in front of the Howard Theater and see the icons of folks who've been icons in this community for civil rights and also for justice. And that's the reason why PNC will support this. And I implore you as the audience to support it as well. Thank you.